welcome to the Inside Ball special guest this week. This guy is probably one of our biggest legends, Dobbo, that we've, dual code. We've had Lottie on.
I think he's the greatest.
We haven't had Wendell on yet, or Matt Rogers, but this guy, he's been the most successful guy, cross-code, league and union. There hasn't a trophy in the world.
He's won everything.
That he hasn't won in both codes.
In everything.
And he's got a book out, Dobbo.
It's unbelievable.
What's the name of the book?
It's called Champions Do Extra.
Well, he did do extra.
Bradley
Thorn. Welcome, champ. How are you, big fella?
Pleased to be here,
Give
mate.
me shaking that big hand of yours.
Legend, mate. Legend. Good to see you.
Geez, you're looking fit, lad.
Yeah, I've been chipping away. I've trying to get my weight down, so I've got it down. I'm back to league weight.
Right.
Which is around 112,
okay,
so I'm pretty happy with it.
We're going to try and cover everything here. We're going to be here for a while, but right. One of the things that when I first met you at the Broncos, I reckon you'd have been 18 or 19 years old. You walked in, you're a big fella, and I thought, shit, who is this bloke? Who's Wayne brought in here now? You know, we didn't know who you were, or that would have been the early 90s, like 90s.
I signed at 17. And
so you're still at school when you signed? Broncos?
Yeah, but I came in, I would have been training. You probably might have seen me around, some young guy. I did stand out because I was...
tall, mate, and athletic.
I was tall and I was sort of big structure, but you know, you got to fill your body out.
Yeah.
But I was muscular, but it wasn't till as you get old, as you grow, you fill out a bit. But yeah, it was a big frame.
Yeah, but
how did you get to the Broncos?
Australia for the first thing,
because your rugby background, played a bit of league. How does Brad Thorn end up in Brisbane?
Born in New Zealand, we play rugby for 120 years. It's just given.
Country in New Zealand, though, not in the cities.
I was near Dunedin, a satellite town out from it, probably. Ipswich to Brisbane.
Oh, Ipswich, yes, Thorny. You're straight away.
He knows, mate. The nation's capital.
But it's way smaller. You know? So, yeah.
So, how many people
born there? I would have only been 5,000 or something. New Zealand's small. Small. So, Dad growing up there and Mum was in a country, in a farm nearby. Started there, 5 years old, moved to near Queenstown. You guys would have been to Queenstown.
Yeah, love it.
So some of us aren't well travelled, Brad, but I've heard about Queenstown.
Yeah. So it's mountains and lakes and it's in the highlands. And so about 40 minutes from there's a service town to Wanaka and Queenstown because they're wealthy tourism called Cromwell. And there's a farming community called Bannockburn. That's where I was on 11-acre hobby farm, little lifestyle block, sheep, chooks, this sort of stuff.
Yeah. And Cromwell there's been some famous All Blacks from there as well, isn't there? Or is that?
There may have been a front row. McDonnell, I think, was from Cromwell. There's like a farm. My first ever coach, I haven't talked about this before, was an ex-All Black. He was a farmer because we're all, the country's rural. That's where we come from. Pacifica, like Maori and rural, so... Yeah, my coach was Donnie Clark. He played a couple of tests, and I still remember. He actually they interviewed him in 2011 and said, "What do you remember about Brad?" And he said he had this large head, which I do, which I appreciate. Big microphones. And what I remember, it's funny. What I remember about him, I've got a pretty good memory, and he was the guy who said, "Brad, always go forward, forwards, rugby." Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is gospel. Yeah. It's from an All Black. You get well known in those rural areas. He's the All Black at the pub, and I'm so like, this is So I was there, played under sixes, under eights. I played for my school. Small school. I played my brother's team. He's 2 years older.
Yeah.
You guys would understand that. Where you have to have, you don't have enough kids.
So you play for both. Play upper grade.
I just play. He was two years older, and I just watched the big guy. He's a big dude. My brother. He's 6'8" as a man, and he was a good athlete, good rugby player. And I basically just watch him running around at that age. And then we came over at 9 years of age, like
for a better life.
Yeah, for opportunity. New Zealanders have done this for 40 years. Pacific Island people come to New Zealand, Australia. It's just opportunity, more opportunity. Dad saw that. And we came over for a test drive when I was 7. So I come over at 7 years of age, went to school out at Aspley.
Right.
I was there for working holiday, sort of a working experience.
Education, yeah.
And then we went down the East Coast. I went to school in Victoria
Yeah.
Right.
during Ash Wednesday. Do you remember Ash
Yeah,
Wednesday?
yeah.
1982. I was living in a caravan park. We lived in
Shit.
caravan parks and stuff. Third generation bogan. I'll just put that out.
We're all there, mate.
I
We're
was
all there.
comfortable
We're all
there. I
bogans,
was
mate.
very comfortable
Yeah.
there.
You got on well with the locals?
Oh, well, mate, yeah. That's my DNA. But we were in that caravan. Just remembering it now with you guys, it was 45 degrees heat. It was scary heat, and then there was a fire.
Fire come through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember Dad just. We're Kiwis, like we struggle with the heat.
Yeah.
We were the Kiwi family that, when it's winter, you go to Bribie Island or you go to Caloundra, you see this family out there just going, in the water,
Yeah.
and no one else is.
Yeah. That's
Because the
that's the
Kiwis,
thing.
because we acclimatise. It's like for us, I came
That
from
was
the
warm.
I come from the mountains,
Yeah.
and I come to Australia. And we think it's like a great warm summer in your winter.
Middle of winter.
And then a year later, you acclimatise, and then you go,
Yeah,
don't know
it's
if I'm going to
freezing.
jump in there.
Yeah.
So, where was I?
Yeah, Broncos. How'd you end up at the Broncos? Dobbo's
Yes,
question,
so come over, went to a state. I didn't know anything about league. I haven't heard about it. We just do rugby. So the kids at school play league. After a couple of years of getting established, Dad's mum gets settled. They say, you can play a weekend sport now. So so I was 11 years old and my mates played league. I play league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it
So-
hard settling into Australia, like coming from New Zealand?
Yeah.
Your memories?
Yeah, it was.
What
Yeah.
was
the
some of
schooling in
tough-
the country area was like
Just not having family.
you're way in front of what we were. I was under the pump, trying to learn. Just everything, the smell, the feel. Like when I got off the plane, when that first time I came, I put my hand out the window and the air was thick.
Yeah.
I never felt air like that,
Yeah.
and it was humid, and the car was moving, and it's usually freezing in New Zealand, but it was hot. The air was warm. These cockroaches are flying like big things, because we're in rental
You
property.
got them back, the cockroaches, in
Yeah,
you later in life, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah, you did, bro, yeah.
There's so many
Yeah.
things that happens. Like we're very tight. We're very tight sort of relations family, and that was, all my grandparents passed away over the years, and like right now, sitting here with you guys right now, I have not a single relation in Australia. It's my wife's family
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
my children who are born here, my sons,
yeah.
and my daughter's born in Christchurch, but all my relations in New Zealand, and the missing them was, we would travel back, on a every couple of years, but it was like mum and me or dad and my brother,
Yeah.
because we couldn't afford
To have the whole family go over.
that's
Yeah.
just understanding the 80s. You didn't have necessarily heaps. You know how we wouldn't go out. Going out was a big deal
Yeah, if you
to
went out,
eat at a
yeah.
restaurant. It was
Yeah.
like Pizza Hut, and it was
Yeah.
like far out. Oh, a Sizzler came around.
Well, when you take the Thorns to the Pizza Hut, mate, you
Yeah, we
the
went.
food,
Sizzler was the
buffet,
greatest thing.
Sizzler.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
you would have
greatest thing.
But Thorny, that kind of experience where you had to go without, and only two of you could go, and you couldn't.
Yeah.
That molds this book.
Yeah.
Like that's the DNA that got you to the Broncos,
Yeah.
because you appreciated
Yeah.
when the opportunities, like you hear that, like it wasn't handed to you. Nothing was handed. Even seeing your family overseas, it wasn't
Yeah.
handed to you. So you play league at Aspley. Is that where you? Is that where
Yeah,
you?
I went to Aspley's primary. I went to Aspley State High.
Yeah.
I went to uni. Kids didn't really know my school. It was like used to be the outer suburbs.
Yeah.
Now it's
now it's mainstream.
Yeah, Billy lives in. Oh, I better give it away. Where
Well,
Billy
he
lives.
does live there. He's on the
And
north
Jack.
side. He's on the
Both-
north side.
Both of them on the north side. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So-
who spotted you?
So I wasn't going anywhere, and then I got to around 16. I had talent. I was 6 foot at 13.
Yeah.
I was clearly had talent. I just didn't have any work ethic or discipline, and
Yeah.
Dad had been encouraging me. Other kids were starting to push through.
Yeah.
It gets to that age where talent isn't enough.
Yeah.
And the backstory on Dad, World War II veteran, father,
Yeah.
alcoholic. We have anxiety in our family. Like I myself have
You
dealt with
still
that.
battling it?
It's always there, you know. So Dad had state housing, bread and drippings. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Where they, that would be like main meal and stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes grandma didn't eat.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into that stuff too much, but so Dad didn't have the father role model or figure that encouraged him and stuff. He found other mentors. His first boss was a really good mentor, hard but fair.
Yeah.
And anyway, he met my mum, who's a farm girl. Her mother died when she was 8 years old from cancer. So she was on a farm, an old farmer, he's harder old guy.
Yeah.
So if you think about my mum and dad come together, my dad with his lack and the father, my mum with not having that mother, they got sent out to the aunties and that.
Yeah.
They came together and they were so close. It was awesome. But Dad, all the stuff Dad wished he had his two sons. He poured into us.
Right.
And the support and that. He encouraged me and all this sort of stuff. It got to a point it was enough. There wasn't. I had talent. I just didn't have the drive. I didn't have the discipline.
Right.
I didn't have
Yeah.
So
because I read your book, he said.
Yeah, he just
called you aside and said, "Mate,
we'd gone down the Gold Coast.
This is a good story."
He didn't like mucking around either.
No.
This is
Straight shooter.
This is a great era of just when I played a bad game, silence on the one. I go out to Redcliffe.
The no talkies.
Yeah, and I was the same. I don't want to talk either because we took our footy seriously. All Black Test match on. I'm quiet because it's serious. So he just got home from. I hadn't fronted again. I'd held back. I didn't have the belief. Belief is a huge one. He said, "Look, I've had enough. Drive me around these places. I've encouraged you, whatever. You're not fronting. You're not fit enough. You don't." You don't have it in you to front, or, to make the most of the potential. Yeah, boom, point blank. Me.
Straight in your face.
How old are you?
16, 6'4". My dad was 6'2". Like I'm standing over him. But he's the man. He's the father, a strong role model in our house. And he said, "Look, there's a run that I do." He's a guy he's an achiever. We got to a good space, come to Australia, got to a good space out of Albany Creek. We built a new house and that. And he said, "There's a run I do. I want you to do this run. It's any hill you sprint, anything flat or downhill you jog. There is no stopping or bending over. So it's like fart leg running, that term? Which is a great, learn to recover on the run. Yeah. Not stopping, not having a break. Anyway, or if you don't do that, I'm not driving you anywhere anymore. I've had enough. I can't do it. I'm not interested."
How are you at this stage?
I was just like, go and do it. Because the big man, Lindsay, I call him a big man, he's shorter than me, but, I revered he was like a best friend to me, but a father, and provide and protect, for the family. So when he said this to me, I'm like, whoa.
Really, Dad? Yeah. Did you feel like you were letting him down, like with these words, or how did you feel?
I knew that what he said was true.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to get it done. I'm one of those big kids. You could see me down the years later. Oh, Thorny, remember him? He had talent. I'm sure he could have made it, but he just, but he stepped in. He just stepped in, and so. All right, I want lifts, to training and stuff. So a couple of days later, it's like a Tuesday or something. We grew up in Ashby, but when I was 13, we built a house. We moved out to Albany Creek. So they're very close to each other. Yeah. And there's a state forest. I'm saying that because people will know that there's a state forest out there. People do ride bikes there now and stuff. But it was we're near that state forest. So I get to the afternoon. I used to cycle. Because I was a shy guy, talk about anxiousness and that, when we moved out there at 13, Mum and Dad want me to go to Albany Creek High, which was 2 minutes away from our house. Right. And I said, no, I come to Australia, it was tough for me, make friends, all this sort of stuff. I'm going to Aspley. So for 5 years I cycled 17K, 8.5K a day, played touch footy at lunchtime. Back in those days, lunch wasn't fancy. It's like you use a bread bag, a couple of sandwiches, frozen popper. Yeah,
frozen popper.
You put overnight. That was like I used to eat that.
That was the treat.
By morning tea is gone.
Yeah, it was a slushie.
So I go back out to my house, and I'm sitting there, and it gets to around 5 o'clock where it cools down. 4:45, 5 o'clock. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I better go over. So I go over. And one other thing I'll just throw in there as I tell this, just so you get a feel for who I was. At the age of 14, my under 14s coach is a good little coach, just a father of someone. But he'd been at the club at North Aspley for 15 years. He said that. I've been here for 15 years. You're the laziest kid I've ever seen. Can you imagine? Can you see that now? Like, it's so contrasting because I'm known for work ethic. Yeah. Mm. So that's just to build up. That's what the book's good, because there's a message there, especially for kids or people. It doesn't have to be that way. And probably a message for people, for me, for my father's to kick up the arse. For someone else, it might be picking a kid up, encouraging him. I'm not saying just everyone go hard on their kids now.
No.
I'm just saying my dad was a deep thinker. How do I get that? My brother's a straight A student, good athlete, kicking ass. So how do I get Brad to where he needs to get to? So I go over and do that run, and I only did half of what eventually would be the run. And I had pins and needles, like this joyous sort of feeling. I just stopped, and I remember just saying out loud, "This feels good." Like I just said that, and I just went, far out. I'm fizzing, and just something happened out there. Everyone has little things in their life where they have a turning point, or often hopefully they do. You know, that was my moment. I come out there, I was never the same again. Like a different Brad Thorn walked out of the. I was the laziest kid in 15 years at North Aspley. This coach had seen, he'd been coaching, and I come out of there, and I did the run. Dad would have just been in the back. He wasn't going, "Oh, son, did you do the run?" It was like, I did the run. And then the big one was 2 days later, because it's sort of with league training, you do a couple of nights. Yeah. So I did two runs a week. So I cycle in, cycle home. Must have been like a Thursday, and I sit there and I go, I'm watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I used to love that show. And then I go, it's time to run. And when I'd walked out of that first time when I was fizzing, I had this negative thought, and that's the anxiety battle that sometimes I can have. And this negative thought was, as in talking to myself, this is all good, but you'll fall away, or why was that voice there? Why did it say that? Anyway, but I went. That 2 days later, I go and I'm sitting there. I go, it's time to do the run. And I go, I'm going to do it. Yeah. So I go over, and it's game over after that. Yeah. I just turn into a machine. Yeah. It taught me so much. My mindset. When I went over to that run, it was like, I look at it now, it's like holy ground to me. My sons have run that run. I've driven them out there.
Made them run it.
Because it knew me before I was anything. It knew me during. It knew me. I brought my
Could you still
kids
run it
now? I'd have to take it easy because my legs are cooked from
after
22 years.
5,000 games, you'd wonder why.
Yeah, but even just to give you a taste, what happened. How did that change me? Like in the forest. I started to think things I'd never think before. Like when you go to a bush track, there's a smooth part and there's the rugged part. I only would run in the rugged. Yeah. I wanted the adversity. I wanted it to be harder. I never thought like that before. I would talk out loud, never stop. I'd say, never stop. And the beauty of the forest was there's no one there. I sound like an idiot on the street. Some guy, this guy, never stop. I could talk. I could say things. Come on.
Talk to yourself.
Yeah,
talk to yourself.
You've got that. Right. You've got that. Like almost. You guys will know it. You have this almost two personalities of you. You're having that mindset, and it was refined. I was refined, and all of a sudden, talent got met with work ethic and discipline, and all of a sudden,
it's a pretty good.
And then what that builds is belief. Yeah. And I got belief. I turned up 4 weeks later. I'd made the Brisbane team. I turned up to the Queensland out at Ipswich. Shout out. How many times can we get that in there? Ipswich? And
At the Oval? Did you play at the Oval?
I fronted.
Reserve?
Yeah, I did.
Reserve,
yeah,
yeah.
across that bridge.
Yeah.
Went out there.
Dave Trumpy Bridge.
And I fronted, and they squeezed me onto the bench. And like when they called my name, I was on the bench. My name, so I got second
There's nothing
last
wrong
call.
with being on the bench, though.
But what I mean
made
was,
a career out
what I
of it.
mean is, what I mean was, I had to wait till he called out 17 names.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And my name gets called. I was like in shock. It's one of the most coolest experiences in my life, because the belief was met with result. And at that primary school, I told you I went to Aspley. My dad was big into just motivating his sons and just in his own life. And the school motto at Aspley's primary is reward for effort.
Yeah, right.
And it was like Dad said when I was young, he said it was on one of the school buildings, massive reward for effort. And he said, you do that, son. It's funny what you remember. This is well before I was 16. You'll do well in life, mate. And the greater the effort, the greater the reward. And I got to taste, for the first time I put in effort, I got to taste reward, and then boom.
Away you went.
Yeah, and then that's what rocked up when you saw me at Broncos.
Yeah.
I was lean and,
How much would you have weighed then, you reckon,
I would have been
when you
about
first walked through the Broncos?
probably 100 kilos.
Right. And you finished playing league at what weight?
When I came to league, I had to drop weight when I came
when
back.
you came back. But when you left the first time to rugby?
I would have been about 114, 15.
Right.
I was a big dude.
Yeah. You love your weight.
I was at my peak.
You should have seen these blokes in the gym, Dobbo. They were animals, mate. Alf and I, we weren't lifting in the same group as them, obviously, different category. But these blokes were serious, and like Alf and I used to and we lifted our weights properly.
You trained hard, mate.
I trained hard.
You had a like this thing where I remember where you were always had a little bit of chunky,
Yeah.
And then you
Chunky.
Then you
That was the
you like all of a sudden
I
you had
stripped it
skin
all
folds.
back, yeah.
You were winning you were at the
gap.
front of the gap.
Yeah.
You were into your gym.
Yeah.
Johnsy was into Johnsy used to love
do
these
his
ones
little
with the
butterfly
dumbbells.
weights. Yeah, they were sand in those weights,
Mate, when you have those Johnsy, far out. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Tough as
teak, mate.
And for what was he? 85 kilos.
Yeah, 85.
He was a hitter.
Yeah.
And it was all on his ticker and courage. And
Yeah.
man, I love those guys.
Yeah.
When was your debut for the Broncos? When did you make your first grade debut? Can you remember that first game? Like you've done all the work,
easy.
reward for effort.
Easy. I can easy. It was against Canterbury Bulldogs.
Round 12.
Yeah. And I'd been
1994.
sitting there. This is the funny thing, Dobbo. I should probably tell you how I got to the Broncos real quick.
Yeah.
Dad, I started making the Queensland teams, made Queensland schoolboys. All the scouts come. I had Penrith. I had Bullfrog Moore. Took us out to dinner. I thought I was going with Pricey.
Where did he take you to? Pizza Hut or where did he take
Somewhere in the big time in the
Big
city.
time in the city.
Yeah. Me and Steve Price, they're going to take
Pricey.
us now. And I like the Bulldogs.
you?
They
The
are
same
tough.
age as Pricey.
He's a year older.
Older.
And I like the way the Bulldogs played. They played tough.
Yeah, they had a big forward pack. Hey, don't feed him. He's a Bulldog. Tragic, this bloke.
I like the Dogs,
Yeah,
man.
Dogs are
And
war, mate.
I thought I was going.
Yeah.
Dad, he's always in there doing these things. I'm at school thinking I'm going to the Bulldogs. And I come home. We've got a meeting with Wayne Bennett in a week's time. What? What are you talking about? Because I loved you guys,
Yeah.
Kevie. I'm watching you.
They just won a
92,
couple of
93 was
comps. Yeah,
amazing.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So this is 92. You guys are killing it.
Yeah.
Love Lazo, love all these guys. And then, so, well, what do you mean, Dad? He said, I rang the Broncos today. I go, what?
Did your dad ring them?
He rang the Broncos, right? And he goes, but this is it's funny because, you got the ladies down where you walk in.
Yeah.
And
At
there's
the
poker
reception,
machines and all that sort of stuff. He just rings the Broncos. So he
Rings the
just
league
rings there's some girl, I got a kid who can play. Okay, that's recruitment.
We'll put you
We'll through
upstairs.
there. Gets up.
That's how it would have happened.
I got a kid who can play. We've got to get the recruitment guy. So a guy, finally, the third time, Dad goes, I've got a son who can play. How many times do you reckon this guy gets this?
Yeah, phone call, yeah.
You know what I mean? This guy's like, okay, mate.
Tell us about
Tell
it.
us his name. Brad Thorn. He goes, my son's name's Brad Thorn. Oh, we do actually know about him. And but they hadn't been active, Broncos, we were a smaller pack. You didn't have guys
Big-
my style.
no,
I
they're-
wasn't necessarily
They had Gilly.
I wasn't looked at as much by
No.
the Broncos. We changed in the late 90s. We were a power pack.
Oh,
we
mate,
were
that
a
2000 team in '98.
So yeah,
Wow.
So it was land of the giants: Petro, Webby, Gordy, myself. You know,
Wendell,
and the guys
White.
off the bench. Yeah, the Tanza. You know, you don't need him. Even Benny Eichen when he played at 6 when you were at 7, he's 100 kilo.
Yeah.
We were a big team. Wayne met Wayne the week later, and
That was it.
he paid us. I walked in and Wayne was like, "Whoa!" You know, I could tell he was like, because we're
Big,
you know,
he's
big
tall
guys.
too, yeah.
And he goes, paid us half as much as the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, boom. Dad dies 2 years later. If I'd gone down to the Bulldogs, if you look back on a story, I would have missed all that time around
With
my
your
father.
dad.
That was a huge play.
Huge.
And I got to play for a club that I love. I wanted to play for the Broncos,
Yeah.
but I hadn't heard anything from them. And if you think of me playing for that club, you know, Kevie, we were proud to play for that
Yeah,
club.
very
we
proud,
were proud, mate. And we played. It meant stuff to us, more than money. Every one of us at the Broncos were paid. We could have made more money
Considerable,
somewhere else.
actually.
Yeah.
That was what the club prided itself on. So sorry for taking it back to that,
No,
but
that's
that's just
great.
a window.
That's
And then so by the time I was at the Broncos, and you said, when did I play my first game? Around 12. But because I played some good footy and for West, I played in the Brisbane Rugby League. I played first grade, and I had Tony Curry, which is awesome, did a final year with us, and Adrian Lamb at halfback and all these guys.
Yeah, you won the
And
premiership,
We
didn't
won the title, right?
93.
And it was awesome. It was awesome. And then I came to the club, and I'm getting a few paper reviews now, this young guy, and then they skipped me straight. I was actually disappointed. I wanted to be in the under-21s, but they were playing up in the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah.
It was actually better that I played in Brizzy Comp. It was tough.
You were playing with men.
All in brawls, and
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, you know. And I've just been this big guy at my age, and it toughened me, and you know, had Gary Grenke there, and then I came to the Broncos, skipped straight past the 21s, straight in the reserve grade, and then straight on the bench. For the first grade, because they used to set us up like you'd have 5 or 6 reserve grade back then that would sit there.
Yeah, it was 13 players.
players.
I
And
think
then-
you had 2 reserves or something, and then some reason maybe we
You
get
might
a
play
go.
reserve and then you get on.
Yeah. So, but I've been sitting there for 12 games, and I wasn't the little passive kid as a 14, 15-year-old. I was the hungry lion, you know, and I was pleased at first, but by the 12th round, I was like, give me my
game.
shot. I want a shot. And when I get it, this will sound, it'll sound cocky, but
You weren't giving it up after that.
I sat at the dinner table with Dad at Albany Creek, and it's probably 8 games where I've been sitting on the bench not getting on. And I said to Dad, I just need one shot, and it's 10 years. One shot. You give me one. If Wayne gives me one shot, it's 10
10-year
years.
player.
Yeah.
That's it.
And how does that kid out of Albany Creek?
Yeah.
Think about it. I'm like 19, 3 years ago. I wouldn't even known what was going on. So I got my shot. I'd played reserve grade. I got a bit of concussion.
Yeah.
This is back in the day.
Yeah.
Suit up, sat on the bench, and it got to 17 minutes to go, and I heard that name get called.
Yeah.
And
Because Wayne used to set up in the stand, and the message would come down to Nuss. It would have been on the...
He's the general, mate. I used
Yeah.
to think about Wayne as the general, you know, and we were the soldiers, you know. So the call comes down, Brad, you're on, Thorny, you're on. And I just like, it's always the same when I first got my All Black debut. My head gets hot, and I feel like I did in the forest, like pins and needles. And then I just feel like the mindset there is like I'm born for this. I want it, you know. It's not, what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. So I know that probably might sound cocky
No,
or
mate,
whatever, but
that's who you are, mate.
that's who I was. And
Yeah.
I went on, and I'd seen other guys getting go, like Sid Domick had got a lot of goes. I don't know if you remember Sid. And,
Yeah, I remember
other
Sid.
guys. And
Good Aboriginal
and-
artist now.
Yeah, he's done really well. But there were other guys didn't necessarily take
Grab
that
that
opportunity.
moment.
When you get your shot, you take it. And in that game, I was doing head-up. I didn't know, what's it going to be like? Can I tackle these guys? Can I run into them? Anyway, I was getting a bit of action, did some head-ups and that. And then it was Steve Redden, who's a really good dude, real good.
Steve Redden, yeah.
Do you remember him?
Yeah,
Good, honest second row, good Canterbury stock, like tough guy and a great guy. Anyway, he runs into me. I did like 3 tackles in a row. I want to make a statement, and he runs into me, and I'm like, boom, put a shoulder in to where we both sort of stop. And then I pick him up and throw him. And I'm just saying to Wayne, here I am.
Yeah, pick me.
I'm not
Again.
here. I'm not here. I'm not going to cruise through here. I've got to make a statement, and I'm making it. This is my arena. Have me here. I know I'm young.
I belong.
I know I'm
Sure
19, but I belong here, and this is
He would have seen it. He saw it.
Oh,
Well,
they picked me the next week.
We all saw it.
I played 7 games that year for first graders. A 19-year-old, me and Johnny Driscoll, shared Rookie of the Year. It was a great friend to this day. But the funny thing was the next week we had a bye, and Wayne named his team like a week out against the Canberra Raiders in Canberra. And I remember cutting out the piece of paper with their team. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, well, they were the big deal at the
Bradley
time, the
Clyde,
Raiders.
Laurie Daly.
Is this 94? Is that when
Yeah.
Mullins went on that?
Yeah.
Mullins scored that try at
Well,
night, like when he did the chip. That's one of the great tries. They were unbelievable that year.
Yeah, you know the problem with this game, Dobbo, was I got called off for reserve grade, so I didn't have time to think, except that I'm going after this. When he named that team, he put me on the bench. I had a week. You know, they say don't play. Kevie will know this as a coach and a player, but you can play your game well before you play it.
Yeah.
You lose all your energy. I'm just like, for a week, just going, oh my goodness. I couldn't eat lunch on game day. Couldn't eat it. Just nervous. And I went out there and Ruben Wiki put a shot on me, and there's about 35 to go. Wayne's given me like 35 minutes. And we got beat pretty comfortably that day, 36 you might remember that.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So but after 5 minutes, I was gone because of all the energy. Like I had no, when you're knackered, but it's not unnatural. It's just because you overthought it, overdone it. And and then this is what's great about this era that I love. I love the old school style. I was good. I was okay. Other guys might have not needed that. For me, I sort of loved it.
Perfect, yeah.
Wayne said to me, I'm 19. It's my second game. I was break even. I scored a try off Pearl. I was at the end of the line. I scored a try, and Wayne goes, I pick you because you're going to do the job. So. When I pick you got a front, son. So, otherwise, we pick you here to believe you can do the job. I'm 19. I'm like, okay. It wasn't like, oh, Brad, you did well that first time, blah blah blah, and I was just going, yeah, okay. And I just had to handle those nerves, and we'd play in front of ANC Stadium. There'd be like 50,000 for South Sydney. They were at the bottom of the thing. Gold Coast, Seagulls at that time, day game, it'd be like 40, 50,000. I'm 19. I've been watching these guys. And then I just started to, once I got over that sort of, okay, I've got to just handle my nerves better, then I just started to love it. And like, I remember South Sydney, I put a hit on this guy, I think it was Valatai or something, and the crowd, like 45, and I almost wanted to throw punches because of the aggression of the crowd. And it was pretty cool, man.
So, Kevie and you obviously play a lot of football together. We'll get to your rep career with Queensland and Australia, but the Broncos era there, you go to Super League, you win that. 98, unbelievable. 2000, unbelievable. That run, I know everybody talks about 2 and 3, but I still think 98 and 2000 are the greatest sides. And when you look at the Broncos, you talk about it was an honour to play, and you both the premierships because it was big. The Broncos were the glitter club. I know there was cameras, but you guys didn't fear anybody, and it showed in your football and that culture. You're running through the forest. That culture, you get reward. was the DNA of the Broncos.
Yeah.
So obviously there was other like-minded blokes exactly
these guys
like
are
you
winners.
guys. Yeah, all
these
winners.
guys were winners, and I was so fortunate. I came in a senior play group with there's characters and there was a balance where they had a laugh and all that sort of stuff. But I remember seeing Kevie would be out there like 20 minutes before training doing his passing. He'd have a real good long pass. He'd just be working on it. For me, and Wayne would be saying, I've been kicking the footy with someone. Wayne would be saying, have a look at. Have you got the perfect game yet, Thorny?
Yeah, that's what he used to say.
No.
What are you doing, kicking the ball for?
You got an international over there working on his craft. How about you work on something, which is good.
Yeah.
But it's the actions that you see coming to that group. The 92-93 team was special. I loved them, and they did awesome things. I used to love Alan Can, and those big moments he had.
Matho.
All those guys, Gilly, so courageous, just a courageous. All those guys, and we came together, and then this crew came through, and Wayne moved on. Guys like Trevor Gilmeister, probably maybe he was well known for moving guys on.
All their time.
Yeah. But that allows me to come through, and other guys, Shane and Pet took a bit longer. He took a bit longer.
Lazo moved on to Melbourne.
Yeah. That 97, 98, we come together. The 92, 93, you've lost some guys in that, but the nucleus of those guys, and then the new crew, which is our crew, and there was some freaks, man. Like Wendell was a freak. Lottie was late in the piece, 2000, but Webby was a freak. Lockie. So there was these.
Tony Carroll.
It's like they would get the best from every year.
Yeah.
And they put us all together, and they said, go that way. Wayne said, go that way. And you had these guys who were awesome, right? And then we met together in 97 and 98, and you got that. And then when Alfie left, the last...
Steve Renouf, Andrew G, John Plath. There was 5 that left.
Yeah.
5 that left.
And we had Kevie. Kevie, like if I was to explain Kevie to the importance of the Broncos, I always saw him, even back then, he was the heart. You have a guy in a team often, we've all played team sport, there'll be a guy who's the heart of the team. He was the heart.
The DNA.
Yeah, so while we had him, that's how I thought. I was protective of Kevie by the end because we were big animals, Webby and us and that, and he was our guy, and we played for him because Alfie had moved on, and we love Alfie. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. And then
I heard, I've seen that Alfie, you believe he's the greatest player you've ever played with.
Yeah.
In both codes.
Because when I say that, because of influence on winning games. Yeah. That's what I mean. He's obviously not as fast as all these guys. He's not as,
as big.
All this stuff. But man, I used to love with Alf, like he used to sit next to me, he'd be there, and I used to sit next to the door. The reason I sat there, I don't know if you remember me sitting there,
I do.
Because of my anxiety.
Yeah.
Because a mental battle I'd have of just feeling like I could leave if I needed. It was a cramped up place with a whole heap of big name people.
Well, you used to sit in those little like desks,
tiny little things.
A big fella like yourself.
Yeah, I'd be sitting there, and Alfie was always having fun with me because I was a bit of a goofy big guy, friendly sort of dude. And I used to sit like this with my hat low because I didn't want Wayne asking me questions, So, but he'd be like doing, poking me, and I'd be trying to. Wayne would ask me a question, Wet Willie, and Thorny, like saying little things, just having fun, and but he'd come up to me in big games, and I loved having him there. And once again, not trying to sound boastful, but I felt from him that he liked having me there too. He'd come up to me in the big games, and he'd go, Thorny, we're on, mate. We're going. And I'm saying, we're going, mate. We're going.
Yeah.
We're on. I'm with you, And that's just the captain. He's just got his men that he trusts, and he's, so people don't see that side of Alfie. Like, you can have a conversation with Alfie. I had a chat to him last year. It was one of the best chats. He's intelligent. There's the You know,
There's the
There's
larrikin,
Alfie
but then
and
there's
Alfie.
the footy.
Yeah,
There's the
and almost
football.
sometimes I look at Alfie, it's like there's a fatigue of where he has to sort of be for the
Perform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get the highly intelligent, just real warm guy, Ipswich boy from a family,
Hardworking, mate.
all that sort of stuff. The family, the Walters family, all the brothers.
I loved it.
So yeah, but with Kevie going back, that 2000 year, we had Mick Hancock. Wayne had given an option to leave as well. Mick said, "No, I'm going to stay."
And fight it out.
Yeah, fight it out. And he was big for us. Came off the bench like a sort of a explosive forward. And that last year, they 2000 before we left, we just beat up the comp.
Yeah.
And it was my. I love that,
Yeah.
And it was sort of like that, almost that All Black New Zealand mindset. We'll crush. Yeah, we're going to dominate you with our forwards, and then we're going to do some good stuff. But Kevie, there was one time when Kevie took a hit up at ANZ Stadium, just to give you a feel around the Kevie. And I used to pride myself on getting back and doing an early hit up to help the team, just go under the teeth, And maybe I was puffing, I didn't get there in time. And Kevie took a hit up off the try line, and he got hit and then carried back and smashed. And I remember standing there seeing it, do that, just loving it, seeing this guy. Because when you see the little guys, it's the little guys that get me up.
Yeah.
And I see them run into the teeth. And I just watch him, and because I care about him and I'm protected. I'm thinking, that ain't
never happen
happening.
again.
That ain't happening.
Yeah.
Next hit up, I'm going into the teeth. And we were protective, and the heart, him being the heart of it, Kevie's just got a massive heart and a lot of love, and you felt, I felt that, we felt that, and that's why we're all mates and have a laugh. Petro, all these guys to this day.
You did the hard yards together.
Yeah, well, Petro, they were the new forward pack coming through. Petro, Thorny, Gordy, Webke.
Kevin Campion was a legend.
Kevin Campion, yeah.
Darren Smith had done a
Have
job.
you got a favourite story from one of those boys, like either Petro? I can tell you a story about Petro and Thorny. Narelle and I were at Mooloolaba Beach. This would have been 2000, I reckon, mid 2000.
This is classic, yeah.
And we're sitting on the beach. Billy, Jack, and Jet were all there, up there on holidays. Might have been Easter. And all of a sudden, we see these two big dudes in the distance strutting down the beach in their dick togs, nothing else on. They were both single. And Narelle's gone, "Who's there?" I said, That's Thorny and Petro strutting their way down. And they come up to us, "Oh, he's going," like, oh, geez. They were like...
We loved it up there.
Mate, they had the rigs. They had the rigs, ripples, muscles everywhere. I said, "Put a shirt on, you blokes. You're embarrassing me."
Sorry.
Obviously, your club's success, and I'm so pleased you mentioned Kevie with the DNA of the Bronx, but you are such a loyal... the biggest thing for you is loyalty.
Yeah.
I've got to ask you, I know you play for Queensland, but you're a Kiwi. We'll get to the ABs in a minute.
Yeah.
But to play for Australia, was there, like in this day and age, people have a choice?
Was an honour.
Was an honour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You played against New
I
Zealand.
didn't like the kids at school because there's a few other Kiwi kids. Oh, it's always better back home we do this and that. No, go back there then. This is Australia. I came here when I was 7. I came here when I was 9 years old. So, even to this day, my father's buried here. My wife is Australian.
Yeah.
Australia gave us opportunity. I love where I come from. I'll never forget that's where I'm from. That's my DNA. But Brisbane is my home. That's why when I played in Europe in my late 30s and that, you're going to return to New Zealand, Brisbane, which I got. I understood.
Yeah.
They All Blacks. Brisbane's my home. That's where I call home. And these my mates. I've got mates I've still got a mate from 7 years age when I first. I've kept all my mates. I didn't forget them when I did professional sport, and we're all still tight to this day.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, and I'm
playing for
proud
the
of
Kangaroos,
Australia.
yeah.
I was gutted. I injured my shoulder in the Queensland Schoolboys, and I didn't make my goal was Australian Schoolboys. I made Australian under-19s. Play with Adam Ritson, remember him? Johnny Driscoll, and all these good players, Manny Singh, all these sort of guys. I was proud to play for them. And then Queenslanders selection for Australia. When I went back to New Zealand, how's that work? You know, you went back to New Zealand, why didn't you play for the Wallabies? Well, back in the day, for 100 years, the league went professional because the working class got injured and they couldn't afford it back 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And so you had rugby state amateur league was professional, working class, and that's their DNA. And then, so you couldn't go back to rugby. But there were rumours in the early 90s that the game might go pro.
Yeah.
You guys will probably remember it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
South Africa came back in 93,
Yeah.
All Blacks, Wallabies playing, we're all far out, this is awesome.
Yeah.
There's word of this new comp coming in. It was Super Rugby 1996. Dad died on January 8th, 1995. But in those years, probably when I was about 18 or 19, Dad goes, there's word that the game could go pro. If you get some stuff done in league, go back.
Go back and play.
Go back.
Yeah.
And have a crack.
Have a crack at
Wouldn't
the ABs.
it be cool? And I go, locked in. Heard what you said.
Yeah.
So even Kevie, I was talking to Maddie and different guys. I'm sure Kevie would say right now, he would have known, it wouldn't have been necessarily a surprise when I was 25 that I went back. It wasn't just, I like the All Blacks, I'm going to play them. Or whatever. It was personal to me. That was my father.
You would never have played for the Wallabies. I would never have seen you ever want to play for the Wallabies. No
it was
disrespect.
It was never in my thought process.
Yeah.
And it was always to go back and basically like part doing what I felt I was born to do.
Yeah.
Part duty to where I come from. I haven't forgotten where I come from.
Yeah.
And I got business to do, you know.
Sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions.
No, yeah. So you want to jump to rugby now?
Well, I was just going to say, like after your Origin Series wins, Kangaroos, can you what did you find? Like your premierships in Brisbane, Origin Series wins at Kangaroos. Like what's the greatest league memory for you?
Origin's amazing. It's the top of the competition. To play for Australia was awesome. I loved it. To play with guys like Laurie Daly, Bradley Clyde, to play with Kevie, to play with all these guys like far out, and to play for your country, for Australia, meant a huge amount to me. Those grand finals are special because you have 10 months where you work your ass off.
Yeah.
Army camps, the Broncos, something I've just felt good in that jersey, and that was I felt. Stephen Oof would say that sometimes, in the Origin he didn't feel as he loved it, but the way he felt, I reckon Kevie would probably be the same. My gut would tell me. There was just something where I felt good when I put that jersey on, and when I had that jersey, even from a 19-year-old, there was a weight. There was to me a mental weight that I wanted. There's a responsibility to that jersey.
Yeah.
And when I finally did my 10 years and 2007 I finished, that weight was taken off, and I'd done my time, and honoured the sort of jersey, the place, and it's on to the next guys, But I just winning those titles. And to do it, that one in 2000. Yeah. We played the semi-final against Parramatta, I don't know if you remember. I went nuts at the end. I scored a try. Barrow was at halfback, I called him. He had the whole back line lined up. Kevie would have been there, Lockie, everyone. Barrow, when he used to hear my voice, if I was inside 10 metres with momentum... Give me the ball. Yeah. And Barrow's a Mitchie boy. I was Westerano as I got older. We have a bond, We had his dad used to say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Yeah. My dad used to say, a good big man will always be a good little man. We used to laugh, man. Yeah. Me and Barrow, a cheeky guy. Yeah. He hits me, I score a try, and I went nuts after it, and a big part of that was in my head was Alfie's not here now. This game needs that try to secure the game. So what I was saying was, I'm getting this done. You know, that was usually where I'd stand back and Alfie and Kevie and that. And I remember I didn't come back into consciousness till I was on halfway. If you watch the footage, I'm pushing players trying to celebrate. I'm pushing like them off. I am in an alpha mood of and we go to that 2000, and so that grand final for me, the style of footy I love to play, the brotherhood and the crew coming through like Wendell, I love that man. Lottie,
Mick DeVere,
you just love all those guys. Look how well Ike's done. Ike was a soldier, and you could go on and Harvey Howard. Let's not forget him. I loved Harvey
Campo.
And all those the next crew like just Dane Carlo popping his head through. He started in that game.
Yeah, he did.
He doesn't get the credit he probably deserves. Carl Webb was a great, wonderful kid. Brad Myers, Ashley Harrison. Yeah, I go on all day. Sorry.
Great. So, the ABs, this is the biggest decision because I'm not going to take any disrespect to the Wallabies, but like Wendell converted, like they go straight in there. And I'm not being rude to the Wallabies setup compared to the All Blacks, but I feel like it hadn't been done. Like Brad Thorn leaving rugby league, with one goal to be an All Black, there would have been within, like you could have done it, but people would have thought, mate, you just don't walk into the All Blacks. You just don't get. I remember
telling my cousin, he said, "You don't do that." He's
doesn't
one
happen.
of my best mates. Yeah, he's like, Thorny, Brad. That's yeah.
It does not happen. Yeah. So there was no doubt in your mind that you were going to make the All Blacks, but you had
backed
to do
myself.
You had to do it the hard way.
Yeah, I just backed myself. That's why I've always had a crack at stuff.
Yeah, because I read in your book, like you thought the transition might have been a little bit easier than what it. Well, not. So
I knew it was going to be hard.
Yeah, but you did because your big thing as a player is not letting your teammates down.
It tested me mentally.
Yeah, because you couldn't do what you knew what you had to do, but you just couldn't quite do it because you were still learning.
I was learning what I had to do, but like, here's a breakdown. This is where I get like that. It's moved on.
Yeah,
it's not in nowhere land of club footy where no one's watching. This is on international.
Yeah,
and people. I came over with a pretty big profile.
Oh, huge, mate.
We were. So man, it tested me, and I'll say this to the day I die. It was one of the most important years of my life because you said that about the upbringing, Dobbo. It challenged me.
Is this 2001 you're talking about?
Yeah, it humbled me. I went back, Kevie, I don't know if you remember, but I'm from Otago. I said I'm from Mosgiel. We grew up. That's Otago.
Yeah.
My father was a Otago sprint champion as a schoolboy at a young age and a Otago rugby player. He was a fullback. My cousin, my uncle had played for Otago. All my relations are there. I said I got no relationship. They're all down there. And so I was thinking I was going to go there. It was Wayne Bennett who said to me, I was just doing my thing and Shane Edwards was, because I was under my biggest contract. I'd just come off a 3-year, $1.1 million contract. It's crazy, Super League. And it would have been bigger. I went to New Zealand for 130,000 New Zealand dollars. Wendell went for 700 Australian and all these things. Apparently, I heard there might have been stuff in the contract that they're definitely in the Wallabies. I got nothing.
Got promised nothing.
Like opportunity.
And
here's some money, and that's reasonable, but that's a long way from 400 and something Australian each year. Wayne goes. I said to Wayne, I'm going. He said, what's going on for me? I'm going back to do this, once again to the day I die. I love it. He goes, go get it.
Yeah.
Like that year, mate. I think you left, Tunza, me, Dane Carlo, or something.
Yeah.
There was 5 of us.
Kevin Campion.
Remember there was 5 of us that left?
Mick Hancock retired.
Yeah, we had a nucleus to the team. We'd won 97, 98, and 2000.
3 and 4 years.
3 and 4 years. the nucleus of the brotherhood, the nucleus of that team could have, you're thinking, I don't need to lose this guy. It's not the head coach's job. The head coach's job, is to go, Thorny, don't do that. That's, you're picking your career, stay here, do this. Go get it, Thorny. And on top of that, I've got a relationship with the Crusaders, Steve Hansen. He's come over and just checked, coaches check out places. The Crusaders...
They rolled into the Broncos, didn't they?
They come and have a look. You probably would have known more. I can't really remember. But because they were talking to Wayne, watching, training. But they go, Wayne goes, they've got a game against the Reds in a few weeks. I can give them a call, go and meet with them. And I thought, I'd seen what they'd done with a guy called Ron Cribb who'd come down from the Blues, developed, Norm Berryman. They had this good program. Wayne said, they've got a good program. Yeah. I went and met them when they came there. Robbie Deans was there, who I remembered as a kid, New Zealand, played for Canterbury. Great, he's an All Black. Steve Hansen and the crew there, and they said, "You serious about this? We'll
take you."
Yeah, and
that was a masterstroke because they were the benchmark. They were the benchmark.
And I knew, so I went to a 1-bedroom flat in a city where I knew nobody. Yeah. I might as well have gone to Melbourne or New York or something. I knew nobody up in Christchurch. Yeah. All my support relations are back there. Otago. I just met I just started to date Mary Ann. She's my wife for 23 years. We have 4 kids, whatever. So that was tough. We were Christian. She was never going to live with me over there. She'd come up. She was doing a teaching in Brisbane. Yeah. And I was taking on my goal of going over there. But it was hard, man, being away a year from her. I just, finally, I wasn't a guy who had lots of long. She was my first
serious partner.
Yeah. So finally found her, and then I'm going over there. But I went there, and if I can make it there,
I'll make it anyway.
Was it tough? Was it tough for yourself mentally because you'd been at the pinnacle, Australia, Queensland. You were a god here, Brad Thorn's a god. You go to New Zealand. I know you're from there, Crusaders, but you're at the bottom of the food chain at Crusaders, and they had some unbelievable players in that side.
Number one thing I played for if I was to say and this is something I used to think about as a 40-year-old going out to play for Leicester. I always remember, why did I play this game? Camaraderie. I basically, if you to describe, I love people. Yeah. Even though I have anxiety and different things, I love people. So the camaraderie and the rough. I love to express myself physically. So when you take me over there, and I have my brothers at the Broncos, and we're so tight, and and the cause and representing Brisbane and all this sort of stuff. To go over there, and one of the hardest things is just looking in guys' eyes and them knowing that you don't you're hurting the group, you're hurting the team, and it just humbled me, Dobbo, which is so good. Anytime someone gets humbled, it is so good because that's where you have to persevere. And
you got to reset, haven't you? Reset,
have strength, and So I went over there, Super Rugby level. I wanted to play 6. That's my mindset as a great 6 is run hard, hit harder, and I knew I could do that. And when you're a 6, I'm a 6'5", ended up about 118 over there kilo guy. I'm a big international 6. Yeah. I always got called, he's not necessarily a tall, because they used to pick tall, lanky guys back then. Yeah. I sort of changed it a little bit where you had the power guy, But because Ruben Thorn, the All Black captain, was there, they put me at 8, which is number 8's like, if you know anything about rugby, it's like the connection with the scrum is full noise scrummaging. Yeah. It's connection with the 9 and the. It's a guy position you probably need
pivotal position.
You need to play it since you're 8, and work on those skills and all those things. And it was tough, man. It was so tough. And media, he's battling away and all this sort of stuff.
They weren't kind to you, were they? A bit rough on you? They get in
you? It's some guys, There was guys who really stood up for me too. Murray Maxted used to always... you can look at positives or negatives. Yeah. You can go, I do I was doing stuff that I could do. I could put big hits on. I could do good runs every now and then. So, I could do a good run, but then there's a turnover because maybe I didn't place the ball right. So you can look at that and go, oh, Thorn's, that's no good. Right. Or you can say, look, that's cool what he's doing. If he develops that, it's going to get to a really good place.
Says a fair bit about the Crusaders, though, that they stuck with you and they invested in you. They saw it. Like, it would have been very easy after a season, and I followed.
They had their worst season too that year.
Yeah, and they could have gone, hey, Brad, it's not going on. And you go, oh, well, I'll go back to league. But they actually were like, no, we're all chips in with you, which would have given you some confidence. Like, hey, we're gonna work this, get there. You
feel embarrassed, Dobbo, and when I came home, actually it was my brother who stepped up to the plate. Big Lindsay, my father's, he's gone, and Big Aaron sits there. I was basically saying to him, look, I'm hurting. I want to, missing Marianne. I'm getting paid pittance.
Not much.
I'm battling away. I know, compared to what, I guess it
was on the table,
yeah. I miss my mates and all this sort of stuff. And he's basically, I committed to, when I went across, I knew I just had to commit to a year. No matter what happens, Brad, I told myself, you're in. So it was a 1-year contract, and then I could do a further 2. And the 3 questions were, do I like rugby? Do I like it? Am I any good at it? Do I like New Zealand? All answers were no at that point.
Wow. Are you ready to come back to Australia?
And my mate saying, Thorny, it's all right. Come back. You had to go. Everyone respects that. You done it. You had to go. And I had my uncle who I really respected. Even he said, Thorny. He said, Brad, maybe you suit league. More. Come on, man. Come on. I don't need that. Big Aaron, Big Az is there, and he goes, mate, you're there for the year. For all that it is, these things, you're away from Marianne, all these things. Go back and have a red hot crack. And then you can leave knowing that you gave it your best. It wasn't meant to be, or it didn't work out, or whatever. But you can be at peace. And I didn't want to be that old man. I used to picture a 70-year-old Brad on his rocking chair. Could I have made the All Blacks if I'd gone back? If I grew up in New Zealand, this was probably another way I used to think about it. If I stayed in New Zealand, we didn't move to Australia, would I had a likewise thing? Would I become, And I wanted to know the answer to that question, and that's what Aaron said to me. If it's not to be, then so be it. But at least you're at peace, knowing I had a crack. I gave it everything, and just gave me that little boost on it. I went back. They moved me from number 8 to lock, it
was a master stroke.
So
lock is second row.
Yeah. So I went into the tight 5. If you think about it in league, I was tight 5.
Yeah.
Remember we'd have the ruck, Pretto was an awesome play by it. We didn't mention him.
Didn't mention him.
Webby,
the ruck, middle
Gordy,
forwards,
those guys are outside. So I went in there, and I'm a strength guy. I love physicality. I love dominance. And just the battle. And I went in the scrum, and my job was just to push. Yeah, at that number 8, I had like 50. I have to carry all this information in my head. Lineout calls, plays at the back. I'm a natural player. So they put me.
Physically, you play well. That's when you play your best.
I like playing what's in front of me. I'm not necessarily the guy that does all your different lines. Let me play. Just let me be me out there. And they put me in a scrum, and I was at training. And all the frustration. They'll just be there doing a scrum session, the whole team. They take it seriously. There's real energy, the scrum machine. But in my head's on fire. There's rage of 6 months of, Thorny, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like I said, young kids would have known better than I do. And, and all that stuff. And I just remember going into the scrum, and one thing I can do, I have power. And you're going to feel it. And they used to say, we're getting the right side up, left side. Dobbo might know that sort of stuff. I don't care. My side's up every time. I don't care what you say. So, I go into that scrum, and boom, the front row come up going far out.
What was that?
Yeah. And then
you would have gained respect from within for
Awesome.
that. They love
That's,
it. If you're in the
that's
top
what
five,
that's what I needed, Dobbo.
Yeah, yeah.
I needed to see your eyes look at me and go,
Shit.
Thorny has some value.
Yeah.
Thorny is, there's trust there. That's what I live for, all that stuff. I cannot let down my guys. I need, that's from a youngest age. That's how I wasn't a good talker. I wasn't a cool kid, but in the footy team, I could show without the talk that I cared about people. So that's how I sort of express it. So if someone, like I said, those guys looking at me thinking I'm hurting them is like poison for me. The look of people looking at me, trusting me and knowing that I'm there is what I live for. I love it. That's how I express myself through my actions.
Did you have any doubt, Kev, that he was going to make it?
No doubt for me. But,
So you do that.
but I don't understand all the...
But I watched you, and you got better and better and better and better and better, and then they started talking to you. So your dad's told you go back there professional. Your brother's told you you're standing there, you get selected as an All Black. Like I mean, and then just we look at the All Blacks, and I look at them, and like I hear the culture, and I've heard Richie and I heard Dan Carter speak, and of all these guys who spoken, and I remember going to watch Buck Shelford. He was the number 8 for the All Blacks in 1987. Mate, one of the hardest blokes ever. Like, unbelievable.
Loved him.
Like, yeah. Like, and very similar to footballer to you. But I then go, what's Brad Thorn feeling when you finally get that All Black jersey and you stand there to do the haka? Is it your dad that you're thinking of? Like, because that's the pinnacle for you. Like, that's, and then you had to deliver, but like that moment.
The other guys in the All Blacks and they have Kevie, I don't know if his dad was they have in the family, their uncle was an All Black or whatever. Yeah. We didn't have any of that.
No, we didn't have any of that.
I had nothing. Like, so this is me. That first year I played 12 tests, and so you get 12 jerseys. I gave them out to the family. I kept a few for me, but it's me saying, this is for our family. My relations. Yep. We didn't have a granddad or an uncle or famous. So for me to go out there, to go back, massive around my father, but to wear the black jersey, where they called my name out, and that debut was, like I said, some of the Broncos. But when I finally played them in 2003, I probably am like my 10th season as a pro.
Yeah.
Right? So I played big games, I play all this stuff. When I put the black jersey on, it felt like...
Was that the last thing, or you put it on, did you wear it at warm-up? Or was
they never wear it at warm-up. The All Blacks don't wear their jersey. No. The rule is with the All Blacks, they never warm up in their jersey.
Right, when you put it on, you put it on.
Play. Yeah, right. And I was big. I don't even remember this, Kevie. I used to have 2 jerseys at the Broncos. I would change.
Change it half time.
I like to be fresh. I was a sweaty guy in that, and so. But yeah, when they call my name out. I was born for this. That's what I'm thinking. This is, bring it on. And I'm a man of faith. I'm a Christian. I just thank God. I say, basically, my prayer when I play is basically, thank you for loving me. Let me give everything I've got, no backward step. Everything I've got. That was my prayer.
So this is 2003, Thorn?
Yeah.
Who was your first?
Dan Carter, the same game he debuted. He started. I come off the bench.
Yeah.
First thing that I came on for, scrum. Scrum pushed him off the ball, which was perfect for me. This is the connection. That connection with the scrum gave me self-esteem and confidence that grew into all the other things. Yeah. And finally, the learning started to become instinctive. When someone like me becomes instinctive, then you start to see us play. Like, you don't want to be thinking about all the stuff necessarily going into a game. You've done your homework. You've done your stuff through the week. Now you just need to play. Express Brad Thorn. Express who you are in the structure and individually and collectively with this group. And it was cool going off the scrum. And then, away I went.
So you had to learn, like, jumping in the lineouts and that as well? Were you part of that?
That was brutal. Yeah, never. I took the lineout to win the World Cup in 2011, right? with 1 minute to go. We win the World
They
Cup.
went to you. What were you standing
on
in
the front, on the two-man.
Two-man.
On what you call must-win ball.
Right. So
like you got to win it.
No matter
You're
what.
just a go-to, a safety,
Yeah.
the 100%.
It'd be like you at 6, you've got your inside player in case they're pushing up on you or the play's not on. You've got this guy you can hit that just takes that pressure.
The Tony Carroll on the inside
Yeah,
ball.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I take that line out. Isn't it hilarious? Probably one of the most important lineouts in the history of the All Blacks. I didn't do my first lineout until I was 26 years old. When you think that's nuts, like, 10 years from now, we'll get a guy he didn't grow up playing it. He never did a lineout.
Did you call it?
No.
You didn't call
Karen
it?
Reid.
Karen Reid called it.
Richie was with Karen. He got concussed a bit. I don't know how much he was. I think he was there.
Yeah.
But Rito, I remember Rito saying, I took the last 2 lineouts.
Yeah.
With about
and how
7
were you
to go.
feeling like when you heard the call?
When they told me I had a bit of a it's on me, eh?
Yeah.
So do you know? Like,
you don't want to be that guy, or you do. Like Michael Jordan,
Yeah,
who
he wanted the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Give me the final play.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
And initially, I was like, sort of thinking, put it on me, guys. But the coolest thing for me in my little world of Brad playing rugby was I went into the zone where I didn't care there's a billion people watching, or I didn't care we hadn't won in 24 years, or I didn't care I hadn't done a line out until I was 26. I just went into the zone of I'm getting this done. And process, I was looking at the French had a guy who they knew was coming to me. It's the last line of the game. I'd taken the one previously. We win the game. So he was hard there, and I looked back. I wanted to drag him to take pressure off the throw. This is all line out stuff now. I knew this stuff. And then I was going back to Ali. The whole time if you look at Dobbo there, I'm just watching Dobbo's heel. It's the front lock. I just wanted to see it rise, to take a step back, because I wanted to consider that he might need to lift the guy behind me. They had to win this ball. And as soon as I see, that's all I was looking at. I wasn't looking at the crowd, wasn't looking at this stuff. I didn't care that it took a little bit longer than usual for a line out. And he took his heel up, bang, I hit it as hard as I can, ripped the ball to where I pretty much land on my front, and we maul to close out the last 30 seconds of the game. And I'm like under the maul, my back's like heavy. I was under it because I'd sort of landed on my knees. And I remember thinking, this is a World Cup, to win a World Cup, get up, Thorny. So I get up, and it plays out, and then just the pressure of all that. Richie was in the same, I was like in shock.
Oh, there's a lot of pressure on you.
I was in shock.
So that just take you back to the line out throw. So before a game, would you know would it be known?
You were practiced a lot.
No, yeah, but if it gets to this stage in the game, that you're going to be the one, or was it on the field they said, Thorny, we're going to you?
On the field they said they're going to me, but it's known.
It's known.
We have to win the ball.
Yeah.
I'm the most experienced guy out there.
That's not what you talk about. They just know that it's going to you.
I have no surprise that's coming to me.
Yeah, right.
Get the job done. The hardest job, I need to make sure I mention, was Andrew Hoare. He had to throw it.
Yeah.
Afterwards, he was going, it's funny what happens. You talk afterwards. Tony Woodcock was my front jumper. He's thinking in his head, why is Thorny going back there? I thought it was call was on him.
You tricked him too.
Corey's standing there with the ball going, holy smokes, Thorny, come on, man. This is an important throw.
Yeah.
He has to throw it straight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He nailed it, that boy. He nailed it. And then Ali's going, I see what Thorny's doing here.
Yeah.
But see how you got all those
little things going on around. Big picture.
Is it fair to say the All Blacks culture is a bit like what the Broncos were? Like, that made it a bit easier. There's not an arrogance, that's the wrong word, but there's a belief within the All Blacks that, they don't, like little things like they clean up the dressing sheds after the game. They leave it the way it is. They never warm up in their jersey. They only play it. The haka. There's and it's a bit like the Broncos. What you talk about Broncos football a lot, and that become All Blacks football. Like you're an All Black, you don't fear anybody. Did you see parallels with both sides, even though they're different codes?
Yeah, there's parallels and you can see it. Imagine if you talk to someone in business, hard work, discipline, respect, humility, all those. It's all the same stuff. The thing I'll say about, the Broncos and the All Blacks and Crusaders, these different sort of teams, there's a pretty special space you get to when you're a champion team.
Yeah.
And the space is this, and sometimes people can think it's arrogance. Some teams can get arrogant and they fall away over time, whatever, but there's actually a space where a lot of teams always want to be the underdog, and you do play things down in the media. You don't need to hype anything up. But there's a thing where you say, we are the talent we have, and all this sort of stuff. We're good, and now we're going to show you why. Yeah. And that is, I used to look at teams sometimes out at ANZ Stadium. They were already defeated. I'd run out in the field. I could see it. I could smell it. They were defeated because they were already beaten. Yeah. They didn't have the belief. But there's the underdog thing of, we have to get up to play this team. We did that with Storm in 2006. That was it was cool to have that different angle going in. They were the favourites. And we had momentum and we had experience, and they really grew from that. Ambush. They grew from that, But there's something pretty special when you get with some special teams, and when you say you're good, that's that belief I talked about with my dad running the forest. I didn't have belief. I had no reason to have it. I hadn't done the work. I didn't know, you know what I mean? When I put that work in, belief came in spades. It had been earned. There was a reason I can go into a carnival and do well. It's like that with a championship team. We know we can do the business because we have done the yards. We go, even when we win, like the mindset is, like for me personally, was I got the player's player. I think it was 1999. I want to win it again and again and again. It's a constant hunger for that sort of achievement. And even if your opposition, say, aren't at the same level, it's you're competing against yourself almost.
Yeah. Just a bit more on the World Cup, that final. Was that the biggest pressure you've been under as a
grand final of grand finals? Grand final of grand finals.
Doesn't get any bigger.
Because it was at Eden Park too, wasn't it?
I call that, because I had 4 titles with the Broncos, 4 with the Crusaders. I didn't win those 4, but I'm saying I was in 8 in total. Yeah. And it prepared me in all those games of footy and that.
Particularly home.
And the pressure that I'm not the All Blacks. I don't say choke, but the All Blacks were favourite. Well, you go back to 94 from 95 when they capitulated against South Africa. France had touched you up. You've been beaten by Australia in 2003 in a there was a lot of there's been a lot it was, and I can't even imagine they had to win.
You think about it from my perspective, it's my last game. Yep. Game number 60, test number 59.
Well, last game for the All Blacks. You played for another 10 years after that.
Yeah, but for the All Blacks, my life felt like from 0 to 36, and then, if I thought it, like I said, I'm a man of faith. Obviously, this is in perspective, but it's almost my whole life I can almost divide up into wanting to be an All Black, and then being one, and then to after it, where you're going, what do I do now? Yeah, because that's all I'd ever known. But my last test, we hadn't won in 24 years. You're right. 95, I reckon, is a bit harsh. They were in that game, went to a drop kick, and they were my favourite World Cup team. Actually, they didn't win one, and they're my favourite team, All Black team. But the everything's on the line, and I actually had palpitations because of probably a little bit of baggage from the 07 they got out in the quarters. So even for me personally, this is just me. I didn't talk to anyone about it. I didn't want to, but I felt like I needed to show strength. I was the guy who won everything, even at that age. I was the guy. I can't show weakness. I can't show. So instead of just doing that in a game, a little bit of me was doing that around the team. They get me up front. I talked a couple of times during the week around stuff, and do you know what I mean? So the pressure. There's the pressure of all the surrounding pressure, but the good players in that they put the main pressure on them from themselves. Yeah,
perform. Yeah.
So at night time, I used to not like going back to the room because I used to have I'd room and I'd have new rookies or anyone who got in trouble would room with me. And I'd sort of like a father. I'd give them a bit of a tune-up or I'd give them a hug or whatever.
Yeah, hug, yeah.
But that last year I said, I just want to have my own room. And I go back there and at night time, I don't know if you guys ever had palpitations, but I could feel it. During the day I didn't feel it, but I could feel it because I was stressing, And that's why, if you look at the footage of me after we win that World Cup, I'm on my knees, bawling like a baby.
Yeah.
And
you have your family, all your family there, obviously?
My wife was in the stands. The connection between New Zealand and the All Blacks was so tight. We'd done a lot of stuff, and they were hurt. It was a painful game. It was a tough game. It was a fight.
8-7, wasn't it?
Get in the fight, and
One try
or
each.
don't. And it was it's good that you brought that up, Dobbo, because if we'd won by 30, it would have been different. These are the games where we had choked or, where we had battled, and it was a fight. And the French, forever, once again, to the day I die, I will love them, I will respect them. I have so much respect for those warriors that turned up and said, we're the French, and we're going to get amongst it. And it was just a fight, and all these things, mate. It was unsaid in that last 20, 30.
Yeah.
It wasn't big speeches. It was just turn up for your mate, one play at a time, and get in the fight and stay and who wants it more and let's go. Yeah. And so we hadn't been able to do that in the past.
Yeah.
And it was 8-7. It was ugly. It could have been a penalty to the French for Jerome, put his hand on the ball. Could have been a send-off for the centre headbutting Richie and eye-gouging, But it played out.
On.
The ref said, go at it, boys.
Yeah.
Let you decide.
Let's get into
which the way I love it. At 8-7, that was important.
Yeah.
4 years later, they had a nice win, and they're all happy and laughing. This is 24 years, mate, and the whole country was in pain. My wife was she wanted to go to the back of the stadium and throw up, she said, but she had to stay there because she just knew what this
meant.
She knows how I tick. And, that would have been, it was a lot at stake.
Yeah, a couple of questions because we're running out of time.
Sorry, mate.
Right, no. Now, you've been to a Broncos party and an Origin party after a win, after a grand final win or after a State of Origin. So what's the All Black party like after you win a World Cup?
It's good.
Is it different?
It's good. All the young guys and...
You got any stories you can share with us?
I don't actually because I was... I had 4 kids. I was... after the World Cup final, I hate to tell you, I was knackered.
Yeah.
I was shattered from just the build, especially the quarter semi-final, 3 grand finals in a row. That's what it was, do or die,
technically,
earn the right. So I imagine they have great times and all that sort of stuff. I went to bed, I was knackered. I didn't actually start to feel joy. I felt like I walked away from a car crash, like shock, because I was holding on so, I guess, too much. So it wasn't. We had 250,000 Aucklanders come out, and then at last, I remember saying to Richie, he felt the same way. I could feel some joy and,
relief.
Yeah, and that's often how we used to feel when we went at Brisbane.
Yeah,
we used to feel relief. Yeah,
expectation.
I know you went on and you won big cups overseas in Europe, but you talk about playing with him. You talk about Lockyer. You talk about Langer. Then you go across. I mean, you play with Richie McCaw, who's arguably the greatest. Like, do you have a player that you think stands in both codes, or can you not compare that stands for you that you go like that's the player of all players that you got to play with?
All those guys are special, and the guys Richie as a 7, he's always going to be around the ball, and he's a wonderful player, and they're great. Dan Carter is our main guy. So you have the utter respect and you hold them in such high esteem. When you're a part of the tight 5 or the tight group in the forwards, like Webby, Petro.
Different mentality, these forwards, Dobbo. Different mentality.
Like my example would be Tony Woodcock, Kevie Walters, Owen Franks. We go to war at scrum time, especially, and they're my brothers, to die, and all those guys. There's lots of guys. There's the guy. What I mean, Dobbo, is there's the ones that you don't necessarily
Don't get
know.
the name.
Yeah. But
they
if you
do the
don't have
work.
that, they say, probably explain, be good for the league. People listening. Who's the most important player in a rugby team? The tight head. Who's the second most important? The reserve tight head. You don't have a scrum. You don't have a platform. Our game, rugby's played off the structure of a line-out, a scrum, a kick-off receive, whatever. That's how you, if that's getting dominated, you can't play off it. If you're dominating those areas, you are playing, getting to play off front football and, all that sort of stuff. So.
Righto. Couple to go.
Sorry, mate.
Coaching.
I'm talking too
Yeah,
long.
no, that's fine, mate. We love it. Coaching. Wayne Bennett v. Steve Hansen. What's the difference?
Wayne, growing up, is what he grew up, how he grew up with his dad, and the story of his, his brother,
his
and
upbringing,
police
and what,
academy.
yeah.
So Wayne's got a great sense of humour, but he's a pretty serious operator as well. So so there, Steve Hansen's like probably a bit more of a cheeky character, which is good balance because you had Graham Henry and Wayne Smith who, they're
Very
quite
different
intense,
cats,
So that was the balance. Steve Hansen was a real likeable guy, but still could put one on you.
Tell you right from
Straight
wrong.
between the eyes, yeah.
You're not doing this.
We have respect, especially when you get older. Kevie, this is the thing as you get as an older pro, you already know.
Yeah.
And you go, I
Okay.
hear.
Go on, Dobbo.
Why is Brad Thorn, who's been a career coach, why is Brad Thorn not coaching now, like at elite level? Is there what?
That's a really good question, Dobbo.
Like I'm being honest, I don't understand why you're not the Wallabies coach, and I say that with the deepest respect. I've told you this before, away from this, but have we seen the last of Brad Thorn as a?
No. But my kids, I brought them home. I could have played probably till I was 42. I played till I was pretty much 40. But I came home for the kids. My oldest son's about to hit high school. Big blue open sky of New Zealand, Australia. Our upbringing, guys. You grew up in the rural. You're out of Ipswich. So with Japan, Ireland, England, was awesome.
Lived all over the world,
but
haven't you?
stability, where they can have friendships, where they can feel like this is home. So we brought them home, and I got to work at the Reds. I was just looking for I didn't know. I ended up to the 20s. It turned into what it did.
Yeah.
But the thing that if I was coaching the league in Sydney, I got Manly, Cronulla, Roosters, all these options. If I, as the coach at that level that you're talking about, I have to leave the state. I'm not doing that until my daughter has her last year of school.
This
That's
year?
all 4 now.
So you're on the market next year?
So I would think about it.
There you go, Dobbo. There's a scoop.
But, I would think about things.
Well, there'll be people talking to you. Like you don't have to, but like there's a shortage of elite. There's a shortage of elite rugby coaches in the world. Like, and that's just, and I'd say that about NRL coaches as well. They're not. So there would be discussions, but you've got to find the right place. But you still harbour. Can I ask you this?
It's just in my blood, the game.
What about, would you coach the All Blacks?
The way I felt, the Reds, I went in there, I was like, I had no experience, similar to going to rugby, and it's like a baby just throwing them in the pool to swim, and I grit my teeth and hang in there. That was harder. We can't talk about it now. We've got to finish up, but that was harder than the rugby change, way harder. But it's
coaching. Oh.
Mate, it was.
It's good fun though, Thorny. The best parts outweigh the low
we were
parts.
9 million in debt. There was a tough road down there.
But
it was tough.
And I've heard you say this before. What did you enjoy most, coaching? Or playing?
Oh, playing.
Playing.
I lived to
Hands
play.
down, eh?
Lived to play.
It's the next best thing, though.
That's what.
Well,
That's what. And that's what Robbie Dean said to me. He said, "Thorny, it's not playing, but it's the next best thing."
That's
mate.
it.
So you do harbour to coach elite at the elite level again. I know you're involved in schools.
I'm saying, like I said before, if God puts that in front of me, as things play out,
You'll go after it.
Yeah, I'll just do what's in front of me. I'll look at it and assess it. But I'm a guy who loves a challenge. I've shown that the whole way. So we'll see.
Was the book a challenge?
Yes, It was.
And in which way what's the most?
Just the vulnerability of it, I talk about some stuff in there, like anxiety. I talk about things. I don't bag anyone in that book. You won't find.
Well, you're not a bagger, mate.
You're not, that's not.
I only critique myself. There's different things, but just sitting there, and it was just solid for me. I'm not a writer or anything, but I've had a guy that wrote it, but I did a lot of stuff on it, to get a space. So I was pleased to have that done. And even now, me coming out and doing all this sort of talking and that, is, you probably know, it's not necessarily natural me.
No, but you're a natural talker, though. Like, I listened to one of you on the Matty Johns podcast and a couple of other things I've heard, mate. You're brilliant at it.
Yeah, it's just something
you can hold an audience.
I can't wait to read this book.
Yeah, well,
I can't wait to read it.
I was lucky to get sent a manuscript when I was on the Kangaroo tour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and...
well, you're in there, big guy. You get talked about. I added a few things actually in there. So.
So I feel really proud and privileged to be part of... Like, you're the greatest league union player of all time.
I agree with that.
He's won every trophy.
I agree with that.
Like, I think
there's nothing he hasn't won.
Back before... So when you won a championship in league and in rugby union, you and Peter Rhino's won both.
Rhino did really well, man.
Right.
I'm real proud of him.
Yeah, but you've taken it to another level with World Cups.
Heineken Cup.
You've had this sort of trophy. Where do you put all your trophies?
It just sits.
Where are they all? Where are all your trophies? I want to go and have a look.
This is the thing, I got them all, but they're in me being me, I don't like forcing that on it. Anyone comes in my house, there's nothing.
So there's nothing at the house?
They're in plastic bags somewhere.
Do you have an All Blacks jersey framed? Do you have any of those jerseys framed or anything? Nothing.
It's just not my way. I don't, when someone comes to my house, I want them to just know me.
Yeah.
Not get, that's just my style.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's bad for others.
No.
But so
it's not just one house he's got either, by the way. Which house you talking about?
That journey was never planned. I dreamed big.
Yeah.
I dreamed real big, but not that big. And I just played out. And I've finished by saying, God put stuff in front of me, and I tried to walk faithfully that way. What he put in front of me. Yeah.
Well, whatever he put in front of you, you knocked over, mate. That's what you did. You've been doing it for. It was your birthday the other day.
Yeah, 51.
51.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Yep.
And that little kid coming into the Broncos as an 18-year-old.
This guy, I was actually thinking that driving in today, like, you'd be a guy that would, seeing you today, you've known me since I was 17.
Yeah.
You would have seen me. So, like, Kevie's a guy who I only came across at 9, but to still know you, to be a friend with you to this day, you're actually one of my oldest friends, just by the fact
I hope I can stay your oldest friend, mate. Keep that going for a while, Thorny.
Yeah.
Listen, we love having you on. We know the book. So where do you get the book? All good bookstores will be selling this.
Yeah.
We actually tried, my wife and I, Narelle, tried to get a book for the show. You brought this one in. We couldn't find one in Brisbane.
They've got a reprint.
They're hard to get, people. There will be a reprint, obviously, but it's an awesome book. Whether you love sport, you love business, you just want a good read. There's so many good stories in here, and Thorny has got a great story to tell as well. Although it's not so much about that, is it? The book, it's more about navigating your way through life and
lessons
the different
learned.
ways to
a little
do
bit autobiography, a little bit lessons learnt. So just overcoming things and.
Well, you've done plenty of that, mate. And hats off to you. Thanks for coming on the Inside Ball. We love you, big fella, and we know the book will go well. And we look forward to you putting the coach's jersey on again one day soon.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Good on you, bro.
Awesome. Thank you.
Dobbo,
I wanted to, when I went into the Reds, I wasn't necessarily the most popular guy in the media. It's just the way. Dobbo was a real voice for me.
For you?
Yeah, he was.
He's a good fella, this bloke.
When you're in that environment, you're out.
Mate, it's a washing machine.
It can be lonely out front.
It is lonely.
Yeah,
it is lonely.
Yeah, and so just having you here, mate, just nice to acknowledge you, mate.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Not that all these years later, I didn't really get to say to you at the time, but to have a voice that was encouraging, who was saying,
the worst thing that ever happened to Brad is that Brad and we will finish this part of it. But
no, we can talk about it because, mate, coaching, it's an interesting part of your career.
A couple of players, Brad prided himself on relationships with players. That's how he did.
Yeah.
And one bloke walked, and I still remember that day. You were more hurt by them leaving than anything.
I know who we're talking about.
And that was a hard, and I was just like, you know what? And I actually believed him because of this. Like, you're a winner. I was like, well, they're not going to. And we're so quick, and we've seen what happened at the Bronx. It's so quick when things go south in sport to blame the coach. And I was like, mate, you pick and stick.
I'm going to add in here, because coaching is my passion too, and it's clearly yours. It's an opinion, someone's opinion on coaching, right? And I would have thought, with your expertise and the people you've been coached by and the people you've mixed with across both codes all around the world, that you would have enough information inside your big head, because that's what the bloke said back in the day, for you to be a very successful coach. You know?
Yeah.
But the problem was, and
I know you got thrown to the wolves there.
But the problem is, and for both you guys, and I say this, and we're talking about the book, but what happens is, unless you're everybody, like, best mates with the journos, it doesn't matter how good you are. It shouldn't be, and that's it just should never be like that.
And I never would.
You never kowtow to anybody.
I stay out of that. So I just think what will be. And something around that book, probably good you're saying that, is I get to say some stuff. I just absorb a lot of stuff. This guy's saying that, this guy's saying that. You know, when I was playing footy in teams, I get to talk about the Highlanders where, I was doing the gym and stuff. I finally got to say something. I always just absorb stuff.
Yeah.
You guys have seen how I front.
Yeah.
I always just try and bring a calm and
positivity.
I don't bag no one. And in this book, I still don't bag anyone. I just get to say, hey, these were my values. These were what I'm trying to achieve. And these are the great people that I got to be with. And to me, I want it to be a positive book. I'm not interested in, but it was just nice to be able to, when everyone's always having their say and this and that, and finally I get to say, hey, and in these interviews and in that book, I get to say, I cared about people, and I loved being part of these things, and it was a hard road, and I'm grateful for the journey, sort of thing. So,
And, one of the things I'm going to leave here very positive, one, because you've just bring that positivity, but also I love the fact that you're going to keep coaching. I just love that. Because you have got... We both are, mate. Yeah. We'll be back, baby. We'll be back.
That's